What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. IGN has announced that they are looking for writers, which is pretty cool. If you're an aspiring writer that wants to work in the entertainment industry and make money and talk about what you love, IGN is a prominent name that you could attach yourself to and maybe get some recognition and get some money along the way. Win-win, right? Not necessarily. Kat Bailey, the IGN senior editor, recently tweeted out something that lit Twitter ablaze, and that was that IGN is looking for new freelancers to assist with the daily flow of stories in games, entertainment, tech, and science. $20 base rate per story, sliding scale for heavier reporting, DM with an introduction and portfolio for details. Now, I want to say before I just tear into this that on the surface, that's not terrible. Like, it's not. Like, I know everyone's having a field day with this because it's so easy to take shots at this. But I look at it from, say, the Smash JT perspective on smashjt.com, where I had a couple of writers and they did it actually for free, where I couldn't afford to pay them and they wanted to write, so they wrote some stories. Super Nintendo was one of them. Tony Sestito, one of my elementary school and high school friends that's really into gaming. And a few other people along the way over the years wrote some articles on smashjt.com for free. It was just something fun for them to do. And it was one of those things that if the site ever built up some attention and got, a spotlight on it, that I definitely would start paying them, but I didn't have the funds for it. So it's hard for me to take a position of, oh my God, they're not paying enough, when I literally had people writing for me that I wasn't paying anything for. But it's a little bit different. I was a little piddly dunk YouTube channel with a no-name website that was just doing it for fun, like legitimately out of the passion from our hearts, just to talk about gaming and entertainment. We would write these articles and put them up on smashjt.com. IGN, on the other hand, annual income is in the millions. IGN, a very prominent name in the world of entertainment, is offering $20 base rate per story. And that's concerning for a number of reasons. And I'm going to start with from a corporate standpoint. You get what you pay for. Who are you going to be hiring and paying $20 a base rate for a generic story? What kind of garbage are you going to be filtering onto your website and making sure that your millions and millions of followers, what is it, in the 7.5 or up million followers of just the IGN YouTube channel, not to mention IGN.com and the viewers on a daily basis there, are going to have to sift through stories from people that are willing to write articles for $20. I gotta be honest, if you're writing an article out of passion, it's fun. It'll take you far, But if you're gonna be doing it constantly, day in and day out, multiple articles a day, it can become pretty exhausting, and burnout happens very quickly. And if you're writing 5 articles a day, like, it might only take you 20, 25, 30 minutes to write the article. You can bang out 5 articles a day. That's $100. And while it might seem like a lot of money to some people, it's really not, especially in 2022. $100 a day isn't going to take you very far. And to get that, you have to write 5 articles a day and have them all approved, and assume that's in the budget for IGN to take that every single day and pay that out every single day. It's not a very long-term success proposition. Now, they do go on to say that that's the base rate and it's a sliding scale for heavier reporting. But then you go down this rabbit hole of how much work are you doing based off of the money that they're paying, and how does that get worked out? It's very strange. To me, it seems like IGN is desperate just to barf articles onto the internet, to just throw information out there everywhere they can to get more eyeballs to come to their IGN YouTube and their IGN website. Problem is, when you're barfing out articles, it's not going to all be grade A material. And the brand, while a lot of people like to take shots at it, IGN brand has a certain prestige to it. It genuinely does. That's why people go there, because it's a quote unquote professional video game and entertainment website that people go to get the professional opinions from people that do this for a living. And if they're going to be barfing out hundreds upon hundreds of articles on a weekly basis, if not more than that, just to fill up the search bar and get people to find them, what's that going to do to the brand name of IGN over the long term? I mean, clearly they don't care about that. They just want the eyeballs. And maybe it speaks to a bigger issue going on with the world of entertainment, where it's not about the quality anymore. It's about the quantity. Because if you can get the quantity out there, you'll get the eyeballs, and the eyeballs will get you the money. That's the concern I have with this. Now, the other issue that I didn't even talk about is the money that IGN makes and how much they're paying for a base article doesn't match up. Like, this is something that if I was making a living wage on YouTube and was trying to get my website started up, I would consider maybe like a $20 to $25, maybe $30 absolute bare minimum for an article per article written, because that's assuming eyeballs are coming and advertising revenue is coming in and it's growing my brand. So I think it would be worth it at that point. And that would be from someone that's not making millions and millions of dollars a year, which IGN is. That's the problem that I have with this. They're basing it off of what they think the going rate is for authors to make these articles. But IGN, just on their YouTube channel, like the estimated net worth of their YouTube channel alone is over $35 million. Websites industry expertise suggests that IGN's net worth at $35 million, but IGN's actual net worth is unclear because it doesn't count the website in the advertising revenue and a whole bunch of other things that IGN does. The 35.35 million prediction is based on YouTube advertising revenue. Realistically, IGN's net worth could truly be much more. Considering these additional sources of revenue, IGN could be worth closer to, we'll say, I'll round up, $50 million. And this company that's looking to clearly grow their brand is willing to pay, according to Kat, $20 base rate per story. Throwaway articles that people just junk food, junk food articles that people can just munch on and throw out. Like, that's what these are. That's what they're looking to pay. And they get roasted pretty good in the comments section here. We're especially interested in folks with an interest in entertainment, TV, news, movie news, etc., tech, and science. So they're not even looking for video game writers, really. They're looking more for expanding their reach in the world of entertainment, where Dylan Wilson said $20. And Tina, who is the editor-in-chief at IGN, backs up Kat with for the most basic stories that don't take our writers much time to write up, plenty of opportunities on a sliding scale. That said, we're always looking to and trying to increase our rates regardless. The problem is that I see is that this is something that's going to take advantage of people that are just desperate for any kind of recognition. Like, the way inflation is, this is basically like working for free just to say you wrote for IGN on your resume. It's a resume builder. And this is IGN taking advantage of those people that are just looking to use this as a stepping stone. So it is, in a way, mutually beneficial to those people. Unfortunately, they're not compensating the people. They're just taking advantage of them and saying, yeah, you can work for us and say that you wrote articles on IGN. And yeah, that's your pay. Out of interest, how long do you expect the story to take? $20 sounds incredibly low for an article considering the size of IGN and the revenue from your ad network. Thank you, Neil. Good point. And Brandon said, I'd like to add that it's not just a matter of how long does it take to do, it's also the cost of skilled labor and trusting someone with your brand, which I'd argue certainly warrants more than $20. Yep. Like, that's what I'm keep getting at here, is it seems so desperate. It's so weird for a known brand in the entertainment industry to whore themselves out what this amounts to for 20 bucks for people to write articles. Very, very strange move. Here's a really good one. Simon Brew, who is an editor, author, broadcaster, Costner fanatic. He has over 11,000 followers, and he said, I'm a self-funded independent film magazine that's never broken even, and I struggle to make ends meet. My rates are higher than yours, and you're IGN. Ouch. Where people started subscribing to him based off of that. That's fantastic. That's how it should work. Well, now, if this isn't stupidly exploitative rate per story, that's less than $10 an hour for any researched article. Probably even less than minimum wage, to be honest. It kind of is. It's very exploitative. It takes advantage of people to use the IGN name, and I'm not cool with that. I feel like they're trying to take advantage of writers just to be able to barf stuff out onto the internet right now and not fairly compensate them. And the problem is, like I said, people are going to take them up on this just to attach their name to it. And it's kind of gonna ruin the integrity of the entire industry if it just becomes the lowest common denominator, writing words, putting them together and slapping them up there to make 20 bucks an article. It makes you step back and be like, what's the point of all this? Like, shouldn't an article have a reason to be made? Not just, oh, we want to whore ourselves over the internet and make our name just show up everywhere. Shouldn't there be more of a reason for the article to be written? I don't know. Now, she did follow up with somebody as a reply. $20 for basic news aggregation. $50 for slightly more involved stories, e.g. finding us a fun community angle that's not sourced from another outlet, social media reacts. $300 and up for in-depth multi-source reporting. That is like, to get a in-depth multi-source reporting article written, that takes days, if not sometimes weeks to put together. Just look at Jason Schreier and his in-depth stuff, like going after Activision Blizzard and all the interviews he had and all that. You're going to pay $300 and up, what, $400, $500? Like, at what point, what is the cost benefit for this stuff? It's just, it's so strange to try to put a dollar sign on an article based off of effort instead of, I don't know, hiring someone to be a writer for your company and to be trusted to work on their own, to do the digging, be the journalist, and produce the content themselves. This angle makes it look so much more generic. Like, it makes it feel like the writers of these articles are worthless people that are just throwaway pieces, where they could just write something today and then move on to someone else tomorrow and move on to someone else the next day and just churn and burn, churn and burn, churn and burn. I don't like the setup. I guess that's what I'm getting at. I'm not a fan of how they're approaching this. It's almost like they don't trust their employee. They don't want to hire someone on. They'd rather just pay for a generic story from whoever's willing to write it and then move on to the next person. It's taking advantage of people. $20 per story, but your company makes at least $20 million a year. Good point. Now here it is, the net worth thing that I was showing you guys earlier. I like this one from Kim. What's your salary? I bet her hourly rate, she made more than 20 bucks in the time it took her to send those tweets. Makes you wonder about the corporate structure there. Like, how much is Kat getting paid? Is she getting paid 40, 50, 60 bucks an hour? And they're willing to pay somebody $20 to write an article that could take them upwards of an hour or more to write? I mean, depending on the skill of a person and their experience. But again, if someone's able to bang out an article faster, shouldn't they be compensated because they're probably better at doing it too? $20 per article? It keeps me going back to the whole, what is this for? Generic crap to spew over the internet to get people to click on IGN and go to their website so that they can tell their advertisers, look at the increased amount of clicks we've gotten. You need to pay us more because this is how many eyeballs come to our website. And what are they doing? Like, basically paying what amounts to, depending on how long it takes someone to write an article, less than minimum wage to take advantage of people because they can attach themselves to IGN. I don't know much about your industry, but $20 seems like a very small compensation for an entire article or feature that has probably took several hours, days. Well, I wouldn't say it takes days. If it takes you days to write an article, you should probably find a different career if it's not an in-depth. Like if it's just a surface level telling people about like your thoughts on a movie or something like that. Like, well, first off, you got to watch the movie. Secondly, you need to analyze it, break it down, and make notes on it, and then write the article. So yeah, it could take a combined amount of time of 7, 8 hours, 9 hours to upload it and get it out there for something like that. And if it's like, okay, that's more in depth. Okay, what, $50? I'm gonna work 9 hours for $50? It's again, taking advantage of people. Well, I applaud the courage to post this doomed tweet, but I heap scorn upon everything within it. IGN is currently offering $5 and a handful of those little things of toothpaste you get at the dentist. Longer articles will include some of the dental floss samples as well. It's what it feels like. It feels like you're just giving scraps to people and telling them to thank you for it. Not a great look. Not a great look from a multi-million-dollar corporation to be paying $20 per article. But I guess that's on brand with IGN. I shouldn't be too surprised. It's funny how some corporations, the more money they make, the cheaper they are with the money they have to hand out to people. Anyways, I'm going to leave the video right there. Interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. And yeah, another situation where a corporation is taking full advantage of the individual. I felt like I had to call it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing.
Smash